Doesn't feel like that. Okay, that's the scent. Do my hands look dry? Hi friends, welcome back to another episode of Life with Petali. If you're new to my channel, I'm so glad you're here. Cheers to you. Welcome to this space. We're all about personal development, growth, faith, and all things womanhood. So grab your seat and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Today's video is going to be about things I'm unlearning in my late 20s and why it's hard to unlearn these things, even though this is my last year as a 20-something year old. So let's get into it. First things first, being an adult means you have it all figured out. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's funny how when I was younger, in my early 20s and in my teenage years, I would look at my older sisters and feel like, oh, being an adult means you have everything figured out. My sisters would talk about all these plans they have for their future. They would have a routine, go to work, come back home, cook, taking care of their babies, and it just felt like that's what being an adult is about. It's about having it all figured out. And somehow I knew growing up that I have to know what's gonna happen, what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. I need to know what I'm gonna do in 10 years from now. But now that I'm in this big age of mine, I'm just like, you know what? Life is going to figure itself out. So I'm really unlearning that I don't have to have it all figured out. I always have to leave room for God to do his thing. You know, I could plan all these things and figure all these things out, but tomorrow could change everything. The next minute of my life could change everything. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a plan or you shouldn't think about your future or you shouldn't save, but at the same time, you don't always have to have it all figured out, and it's okay. Even if your mates have it all figured out, which I highly doubt, nobody has it all figured out. People could have their careers figured out, their families and all other things, but there's certain aspects of their lives that still they're trying to figure out. So I hope you'll unlearn this with me. Second thing I'm unlearning is that getting there after everyone means you're late. Let me give you a moment to take that in. The thing about life, when you go through high school, you make all of these friends. You go to uni, you make new friends. Life is always moving and you're always meeting new people. But somehow you're always looking at your life through the lens of your peers and seeing, oh, so and so has done this, they've done that, and they're doing this, and we should be getting married now, we should be having kids now. There's that order that society has created for all of us, and sometimes we are victims to that kind of thought. And I'm unlearning that if I got there after everyone, it doesn't mean I'm late. And this is hard to wrap your finger around, because most times when you arrive at an event and everyone's seated and you come after everyone, you're definitely late. But when it comes to life, it's so unpredictable. Nobody knows tomorrow. We don't always start at a level ground. Some people have privileges, some people are talented, some people have different skills. We're all just different. Some people are born in families of 10 children. Some people are born in families of 2 children. Some people are an only child in their families. And so all of their possibilities are different. Yes, the future is bright for everyone, but nothing is going to be similar for these people. Even if they went to the same primary school, high school, uni, it's going to be different because everyone's circumstance is different. So if you've been crucifying yourself and feeling like you're late in life, I'm just here to let you know that, hey, you're not late. Besides, you could arrive after everyone, but then those same people have to go back and take some of the lessons that you have actually arrived with. So, who's really late? It's not always about getting somewhere. It's not always about buying a car, buying a house, getting married. What are you going to do with it? I'm constantly having to ask myself questions like, why do I need this? Why do I think this is important? Why should I invest this time? Does this make sense financially? And so because of that, I don't believe any 2 people in this world are gonna have the same outcomes in life. We could go to Mars, we could come back, we could go to the end of the world, but I still believe that there's no 2 people whose outcomes will be entirely the same in this life. The third thing that I'm unlearning is that life goals are linear. And this one's really hard for me because I like to challenge myself to be better all the time. And sometimes I may be a perfectionist, just sometimes, maybe a lot of times. And I will be honest with you guys, sometimes I'm not too kind to myself because I'm always pushing myself against the potential I believe I have. So when I don't do something to my best ability, even if everyone said, oh wow, you did this so well, there's still a part of me that's always like, but this was really not my best. And I know that that's not always a bad thing. However, sometimes it can really be an enemy of progress because you constantly feel like, unless I accomplish 100% of this thing, then it's not good. And so sometimes we set goals in life and we think that the process to get to those goals is going to be just do this and then do that. Sometimes we even journal and find every step we need to take to achieve that goal, and we do our best to follow through all those steps. But the truth is that nothing in life is linear. These goals that we set for ourselves, they're not linear. There's a lot of beauty of just allowing yourself to go through all of the processes. Thinking that everything should happen one after another sometimes limits you to some of the possibilities that could arise in your process. There should be a scripture in Proverbs that talks about many are the plans of a man's heart, or many are the plans in a man's heart, but God has the final say. So just keep planning, sis, but know that God has a final say. Looking through the Bible, you see so many stories of people like Abraham, Jacob, Joseph. We all knew that they had been blessed by God, right? But their entire process of getting to that blessing, someone like Abraham did not even see the fullness of the blessing of the descendants that he got from God. But in the process of getting to that blessing, in the process of moving here to another place, obeying God, being tested by God, we see the character of God through all of those pieces. Think about this with me. So if it happened this way, God blesses Abraham, tells him that you'll have many descendants, and then Abraham sleeps and wakes up tomorrow and behold, all these descendants are there looking at him. What do you think that was going to be like? I think it would be incomplete because we wouldn't have seen how God visited Sarah after she doubted that she was going to be able to actually have a child at her age. And many of us would have doubted in this day and age if God spoke to us at the age that Sarah was. We wouldn't have seen how God tested Abraham, how Abraham had to leave his home country. We wouldn't have seen Abimelech in the story. We wouldn't have seen all the enemies of Abraham and how God blessed him to the point that he had Isaac. We wouldn't have seen the story of Hagar and Ishmael. The actual point of living is the in-betweens, the little processes, the people we meet along the way, the failures, the mistakes we make along the way, the lessons we learn on the way, the things we lose, the things we gain. That's what makes life worthwhile. Fourth thing I'm unlearning, and this is a confession, is that you need to buy yourself everything you want because you deserve it. Because there's a time in life you never were able to buy it because God has blessed you, so you just buy. I'm gonna give you a minute to think about it. I have been a victim of this. Of course, if you grew up in a Kenyan home, unless your parents were super rich, you didn't always have what you wanted. You had everything you needed. You had a roof over your head, you'd get gifts, you'd get food and all of that. But there are times you wouldn't be able to ask your mom to buy you a lipstick or all the things that you really wanted as a girl. And so you start working and then you have all this money to yourself and no one's telling you what to do with it. And probably you've even paid your bills already and done everything you need to do, and you have all this money still in excess. So as a girl who loves nice things, I'll tell you guys for sure, this is something I am still working on. Just telling myself that it's not only through spending and buying things that I can heal that inner child, but I could also learn about managing my finances. I could also travel. I could also do many other things to heal that inner child besides just spending. Maybe it's a psychological issue that I need to address other than just spending, because I buy all of these things, but maybe I'm not really addressing the underlying issue. And so I go into my 30s, into my 40s, thinking that, oh, by doing all of this, I'm healing that inner child. But we all know, they say, once you hit 30, you cannot blame anybody for your problems. It's you. You have to sit down with yourself. You have to address all those things. And you have to look yourself in the mirror and see yourself for who you really are. As we wind up this conversation, the second last thing that I'm unlearning is that taking a break is wasting time. Now, if you told me in my early 20s, you should take a break, you should relax, you should take the weekend off, I would look at you like, I have all the energy. Why would I want to sit in a house and not do anything? I need to be outside. I need to hustle. I need to find this money. But now that I'm in my late 20s, finally of my 20s, I feel like taking a break from things, taking a break from life, taking a break from work is actually helpful, not just to you, but to the people around you, the people you serve, your spouse. Think about it, because if you're always on the clock, you don't even notice when you start to become cranky, and then your mental health begins to deteriorate, and you don't even remember the last time you felt good or you had a good day, because you've put yourself in this maze, or you've put yourself in this hamster wheel, and you just want to keep going and keep going. So taking a break and stepping back can actually give you so much more perspective in life, and also help you to analyze your life and see where you really need to put your energy and where you should just not put your energy. So I think taking a break is very, very important, and now I'm learning to do that as much as I can, and it's very, very, very helpful. The final thing I'm unlearning, and this is also a very hard one, is that small achievable steps are far much more effective than big unrealistic goals. I know we've all had those experiences where we are starting afresh. It's January 2025. I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna do all of these things. You feel so fired up to start this new journey. You feel unstoppable. You put all your systems in place, and then by week 3 of January, you're like, well, I'm just gonna take life the way it comes. In fact, we're going to receive new bodies in heaven, so why should I bother with this earthly one? Then slowly by slowly, all the momentum you had just starts to die down, and life just happens. I don't know about you guys, but every time I would fall back on such episodes, I would feel so bad about myself. But I'm learning that those small steps you make every single day, those are the ones that count. Becoming better in life, or achieving your goals in life, is like building a muscle. It's not a one-time thing that you wake up today and you're better at everything that you do. No, it's the steps that you take every single day. And now I'm learning, when I have a to-do list for every single day and I'm able to do all those things, I feel really good about myself. I actually challenge myself and tell myself, if I did this today and I was able to achieve this in this period of time, then that means I could achieve way more tomorrow. Even with working out and taking care of my body, I try to go to the gym 5 times in a week, just because I challenge myself to move my body every single day. It's not every day that I will lift weights or I'll be on the machine. Sometimes I'll just be on the treadmill for 20 minutes and I still feel good about myself, because I was able to hit my goal of moving my body every day. Some days I just manage to go 3 days in a week, 2 days in a week. But the thing is, I never allow myself to stop. I never allow myself to get too comfortable with not doing things. But then again, if you'd like to build a habit, it's recommended that you keep doing the same thing at least for 90 days without stopping, and then your body's gonna adjust to that new habit. Success is not overnight. That's the one thing I've learned. I know you can challenge this and say, oh, but there's influencers that just went viral. Trust me, for most of them, they had been doing the same thing over and over and over for years, until that moment when they just took off. So if you're waiting for success to happen to you overnight, I think it's time that you wake up and realize that it's the small habits that you follow through consistently every single day that will actually help you achieve success. And with that, guys, it's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I will catch you in the next one, and please let me know some of the things you are unlearning in your late 20s and why it's really hard for you. Bye, guys.